this video, we're asked to find the circumference given the diameter. And the circumference formula is above. If you can't read that, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Circumference equals 2 pi r. R stands for radius. In this case, they gave us the diameter, which we know that 2 radii is the same as 1 diameter. So all we need to do at this point is multiply 5.5 times pi. And it can be done on your calculator. Most calculators have a pi button, and if not, some of them have a, you could just use 3.14. So if we read the directions, actually, we don't need to use the calculator at all because it says leave your answer in terms of pi, which is the step we're on right now, just before when you would go to your calculator and type in 5.5 times 3.14 pi button. The next question says find the radius given the circumference, and the circumference was given in terms of pi. So circumference equals 2 pi r. I'm a proponent of using the actual formula. So if this is the formula, 46 pi should go in for circumference. A lot of you do this in your heads, and you can do that, but you're more likely to make mistakes. If you just use the formula, things work out generally. We'll take it like that. We'll solve for r, which means dividing by 2 pi on both sides. Pi's are gone, 2's are gone. On the left side, the pi's are gone. 46 divided by 2 is 23, and that is the radius. That's the answer. Problem 51 says find the circumference, given the radius is 4. Okay, C equals 2 pi r. Put in your 4 for the radius. 8 pi. That's the circumference. Each year, a growing tree adds a new ring to its cross section. Suppose the average thickness of the growth ring is 0.5 centimeters. About how old will the tree be if the circumference is 76 centimeters? So, I'm going to draw a little picture of the tree, some rings. You guys have seen trees before. Cut them up and make these little age rings. Each ring represents a year, I believe. Okay, so there's a bunch of them, and each one of these is 0.5 centimeters wide. So they tell us the circumference is 766 centimeters around. Circumference equals 2 pi r. So we'll put the 766 in for circumference and solve for r. So let's take 766 divided by 2, and then let's divide by pi. Use the pi button right here. Oops. That's not the pi button. That's the pi button. So this gives us a radius of 121.9. Okay, so how many rings is that? So if you take 121.9, that's the radius. Each ring represents 0.5, so how many of these 0.5 rings are there? So we'll divide by 0.5. 5. We get 243. So the age of the tree is about 243, 244 years old. So it's about 243 years old. Okay. Find the arc length. So arc length. Formula for arc length. I have it written up here. I don't really like that, so I'm going to write it this way. The length of an arc is equal to the measure of the arc divided by 360 degrees times 2 pi r, which is just the circumference. So this is a fraction of the circumference. So how do you find the length of RT? Well, to use the formula to find the length of the arc, we're going to need the measure of the arc. So how big, in terms of degrees, is this arc? Here's an inscribed angle. We'll need to double 60 degrees. The other piece of information we'll need is the radius. See on the picture, but they tell us that in the problem above, 18 feet. So if we put all that into our calculator, and I'm going to leave my answer in terms of pi, because I just like to do that. So 60 of 360 is just 1/6. Okay, 1/6 of 18 is 3. And 3 times 2 is 6. So the answer is 6 pi. Okay, that's how far. 6 pi what? Feet? 6 pi feet. The next problem also wants us to deal with arc length, but this time they give us the arc length. Okay? They tell us the arc length of AR, and they want to know what the radius is. So we're going to use the formula. The arc length, the length of an arc, is equal to the measure of the arc over 360 times 2 pi r. And we're going to put in, for the length of the arc, we're going to put in 40 pi. Remember, use the formulas. Now, if they want us to solve for r, we probably won't know what that is. But we probably are going to have, we're going to have to figure out the measure of the arc. So let's take a second to figure out how big the arc is. So here's AR. We need to know how many degrees is that arc. We learned that if these lines are parallel, that these two arcs are the same. And we have 70 degrees of an arc. 146 of that arc over there, so we have a lot of arc already. If we add those up, we get 216, I believe. 360 degrees minus that's what's left over. Okay, so we get, let's see here, 144, I believe, 144 degrees to be split up evenly here, 72 degrees, and here, 72 degrees. So we now know the measure of the arc is 72 degrees. So this is a bunch of equation solving right now that we need to do. So let's get rid of the pi's, divide both sides by pi. Good. We'll divide both sides by 2. This is what we have left. How do we get rid of divided by 360? Well, we can multiply by 360. So on the left side, we'll do 20 times 360. We get 720. So we multiplied both sides by 360. And got 7,200. This is equal to now 72r. So we need to divide by 72 both sides. We get r equals 100 centimeters. That's it.